Well, what's going on, BR Schultz SB 500? We have 59.8 months until we have the onset of the next Great Depression at Labor Day of 2030. The second low of interest rates on a macro scale. And I believe that's what will bring on the Great Depression, and that'll be the peak in the crypto market. We're witnessing like a 3-year peak in the crypto market. So I think that'll be at the end of 2027 and then 2030. Thank you, little one. And so thank you. It is September 11th. This is part 35 of a long 10-year series. And today I'll be looking at the short-term peak models for September 17th peak and then October 3rd peak. And I think we're in the roaring 20s. And yeah, give me your opinion all you want there, kiddo. All right. And so I guess my daughter wanted to have a few words there. Yeah. And so I want to look at the short-term models today, and obviously that syncs with the Einstein models that I've been presenting. And so let's move on. All right, so my son, who goes by the nickname Nightcap after the video game Plants vs. Zombies, Nightcap the Mushroom, he wanted that to be his nickname. So Nightcap, can you tell us, read the slide for us, tell us what this slide is all about, and we'll work together and kind of coach you along.
The September 17th peak and the line that goes through it is blue.
Okay, so the blue line for the September 17th peak is roughly going to be the Fed date. So that's roughly where the Fed's going to have their interest rate announcement. So I expect that the whatever the Fed says, maybe you have some kind of positive news or something, but there's going to be some kind of sell-off. This is a little tricky sometimes because you can have a crash and also the markets still stay resilient, right? So it's a little tricky because it's just calling out volatility in some ways. So that one's a little tougher of a call. We've seen the market crash 100 points before and then climb right back up. But nonetheless, this does look like a peak. Nonetheless, the model is calling out some type of peak. So what's next, Mr. Nightcap?
The October 3rd peak and the black line.
Which is the black line. That's correct. Yeah. And so we kind of have a three count on the green wave for the October 3rd peak, and I believe that's where the final peak's going to be for October 3rd. And then we're going to see the downward spiral in markets into that roughly October 20th bottom. Thank you, Nightcap.
You're welcome.
All right, Mr. Nightcap. So the market is going to bottom after Thanksgiving. There's going to be a small bottom. But what do you think is going to happen at the white line, Mr. Nightcap?
The market bottoms at October
20th, roughly, right?
Yeah.
So right around there. We're seeing this very beautiful trend line kind of setting in here. Okay, Nightcap. And so can you count the times that it hits the blue line? And your count's gonna be very different from mine, but it's good that you have a different count because most people, when they see this, are gonna probably say that the same count is what you come up with or similar. So how many hits do you think that white line gets by touching all the graph points? So can you count them for me? How many times you think that white line touches the graph? Count them out loud. How many points is that right there at the far left of the screen, early September of 2024? How many points does that white line touch the graph?
1.
Okay, so that's 1. How many times there?
2.
2. In November of 2024. So 1, 2. All right, so how many times does it touch the graph in May of 2025?
3.
3. You think that's as many times as it touches the graph? Okay, so you say 3. That's fine. That's what I want you to say. I want you to give your own estimate. And now I want to show you how I have studied this thing over the years and then give my estimate, okay?
Okay.
So I'm going to call this 1 in September. I'm going to call this 2. Okay, I'm going to call this 3, 4, 5, and 6. And there might even be a 7th because I think preceding the graph on the left side, where this kind of like orange wave is.
Yeah.
I think that actually goes back and touches the same point as the orange wave. So where you get like a 3 or 4, I'm going to get like a 7. Okay? And the reason being is in the May of 2025 section, where this corner touches, that counts. Where it exits, it counts. And the flat spot in between here, where they're overlapping, they're running parallel, that counts as maybe 1, maybe 2. So I'm going to call that 7 touch points. So what happens, Nightcap, in these circumstances is when the more touch points you have, usually the stronger the market crash. Okay, so back in early August of 2025, you can see that the dark blue line has a couple touch points here. It has 1, 2, 3, 4, and maybe 5. So it had quite a few touch points, right?
Yeah.
Going out to August, early August of 2025, and the market crashed pretty hard in those first 2 days. So the more touch points it has, the greater severity of the market crash it creates in the future. So therefore, I believe that the crash into that roughly October 20th low is going to be pretty severe, because if we have a 7 count, we could have a pretty good size market correction. So we could lose 5, 6, 7. I usually say about 7.5% crash. We could lose about 5 to 7.5% crash in the market into the October 20th time frame. Okay, and then Mr. Nightcap, is there any risk, you think, after Thanksgiving at the end of November? Do you think that the market could have a small crash at the end of November?
Yeah.
Yeah? Why do you think that?
Because the yellow line goes...
How many counts? How many hits do we get on the yellow line?
2.
1.
1, 2.
See? And there's the few more that are hiding on you. So if there's not 2, how many do you think there'd be at most? Okay, so there's 1 here, correct?
Yeah.
In August. Now 2 is where this line comes down and touches the yellow line. Okay, that's 2. Now the flat spot, this little tiny area, is a flat spot. That's 3. That's 3, but there's 1 more.
What?
4 is where it leaves the line.
Oh.
So 1 comes down, it comes into the line. That's 2. It goes flat. There's a little tiny flat spot. It's kind of like this flat spot right here. In early June, there's a flat spot after the model cracked. So you'll notice actually there's a lot of little tiny flat spots. See? So it doesn't normally just form a peak, right? It forms a little tiny flat spot. Very rarely does it form some type of sword point, almost like a sawtooth, around mid-August, where it drops and then pops. It's a very sharp down and up, right? You'll notice that most of the time, when there's a pop, there's a small flat spot on each one of these, right?
Yeah.
Like a tooth. Each one of these has a little flat spot on it, right? So it's very rare that it has a very sharp tip, okay? But that is the middle of August is number 1. Then you have a 2 when it comes down, touches it. And then this little flat spot's 3. And then when it pops out, it's 4. You see? Because it's that little, it's that outer edge.
It's the edge of the...
Yeah, where it exits.
Yeah.
So you see how, like, back in, what is that, February of 2025? That would count as at least 3 points. So you come into it, that's 1. Goes flat, that's 2. And leaves, it's 3. Okay? And then you have to combine it with, like, if it goes in a corner here, that's another count. Okay? So that creates the crashes in the future, if you will. So this is quite interesting, right? The mathematics is very delicate in this model, but it is able to predict some pretty serious market activity. Predict the future, my friend. That's it for today for BR Salt SP500 and Mr. Nightcap. So thank you so much for joining us. Hopefully, Nightcap wants to say something.
Nightcap out.
Nightcap is signing off. So thank you so much for everyone for joining me for this wonderful episode 35 of a 10-year series into the end of the Great Depression. Thanks so much. I'm BR Schultz, SP500. Until next time, take care. Again, this is just a snippet of the GoFundMe page. I didn't want you to forget that, so thank you. And please bookmark it, whatever, and watch it over the next decade or into late 2034. Thank you so much.